So, Drake, thanks for taking the time to join us on the Hometown Jams podcast. We know you guys are busy. We love that you and Adam both took time to come over here with us. We took a little break recording for a while just because sometimes artists aren't as transparent as you, and you just wanted to sit down with us. You came in here and you got your coffee and you look great. What are you doing to keep in shape on the road?
Oh, man, I try to sweat every day. I don't know what that is. It could be a row machine. It could be a bike, stationary bike. It could be just head on over to the nearest gym. But I try to do, we've got some weights in the back of our...
I saw those earlier.
Got that secret stash.
Got a bench, and you just pick heavy stuff up and set it back down and do that till you sweat. And I just turned 40 this year, so it's like, it's one of the things that makes it, I like it. I like doing it.
Yeah, you look like a man and you feel like a man. That's my opinion, right? When you got a little bit of bicep on you, right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And what's it like, being on the road? Because, you don't always get to eat, healthy food.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's quick pizza here and there, fast food. What's it like?
Yeah, the road, like, I've always called myself a nomadic spirit. Like, I've always loved, ever since I've been a little kid, I've kind of had a Huckleberry Finn type of mentality of like, man, I want to go to New Zealand. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Hobart, Indiana. I want to go to, and see what's around the bend. Like, so for me, the road it's glamping. It's not like this. We're not eating, halibut and steaks every night. It is glamping. I mean, it's grab a shower real quick in hotel rooms. I got to find a place I can use the bathroom in the morning, figure it out. Like, it's a very moving, you're just moving all the time. And you got to be built for it. And I'm built for it. I mean, I love it. I love being on the road. My guys love being on the road. So it's glamping, though, at its finest.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah, and it's definitely not for everybody because, you're in a different city day in, day out, minus, back-to-back nights. So sometimes it's hard, to realize what city you're in or, where you're at.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really, a lot of times I won't know where I'm at, and you just kind of look at the day sheet and you're like, okay, here we go.
This is where I'm at. And then, when you're in these towns, do you, try to explore it? You see what's
absolutely.
in there?
Try to go on a walk, try to get, the guy at the theater said that he's got a Tahoe in front of the bus, so I might get him to drive me around because that's the unique part of our business, right? When you're watching the news, when you're watching your Instagram, when everybody is in these small towns and just stay there, then they have a certain outlook and a certain perception of maybe the world is in we're all divided and we're all what the news media pushes.
Yes, sir.
But going to 100 to 150 towns a year, we see that everybody is the same. Red, yellow, black, and white. It doesn't. Everybody is looking for the same thing. They want a good job. They want to eat a good steak. They want a Sonic milkshake every now and then, and they want to,
Yeah, it's a straight up life.
make out with their high school sweetheart.
There's way more about us that's the same than there is.
We're not divided. 2024 is a great time to be alive.
Yeah,
and yes,
amen.
We have a lot of problems, but there's always been a lot of problems. They're just in our pockets now.
Yeah, they just they have access to us, and that's what's scary. And when we were doing some Drake White research, because we try to do this when we're blessed with an interview, we came across some really cool stuff. We go to your Instagram, and then I look down on the Instagram and I find these 4 clips with just you, a mic, and some reverb.
Yeah.
And you go back and you play and you sing Hard to Handle, right? Which is, some people don't know, was an Otis Redding song too before it was a Black Crow song, right? And then
huge fan of both.
Yeah, and then huge fan of both. My God, absolutely. And then you sing "Use Somebody" from Kings of Leon, and I can just see, like we said with Adam, there's this Southern rock thing that's in you guys.
Yeah. And
we're just so happy that it's in you guys because it's the spirit of timeless music in America. 100%.
For sure, man. I mean, I grew up on my dad's vinyl record collection.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, he always had a muscle car and suntan hands and Ray-Bans, and that was my dad. He was a cool dude. And he was always, he got to see Zeppelin in Jacksonville, Alabama. He got to see the Allman Brothers play at Brothers, a small bar. And he got 71 to 73 is that's music to me. And the resurgence of these classic rock stations, my friends, and arguably, it isn't even arguable, the Eagles would be on country radio right now.
Yes,
if they came out today.
Yes, they would be.
And it's like country radio and country music has become this melting pot of storytelling. That's where it's the songwriter, and that's why I like it. But yeah, we have that soul in us because it's in the water. Alabama music, Adam Hood. We grew up with that. We grew up with listening to Otis Redding, listening to Ray Charles, and Lionel Richie's from Alabama. Jamie Johnson's from Alabama. Jason Isbell's from Alabama. There's so Alabama Shakes. There's so many great soul musicians that came out of that Muscle Shoals area, and I'm sure you've seen the documentary. It's phenomenal. To anybody out there that hasn't seen it, watch it. Alabama is definitely got something in the water.
Yeah, we love that. Now, we promised each other that we would ask you this question because one of the things that touched, I think, when we were doing a little bit of Drake White research, of course, we came across the TED Talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, as I watched the TED Talk, the thing that popped in my head, Drake, was that you are a phenomenal musical performer and you thrive off of the response of the audience. But then I'm watching you be so vulnerable, and when somebody does a TED Talk, it's crickets. It's just you, like, bearing your soul, and you're really, that's really almost, it's for you, but it's for somebody who happens to stumble on it. Was that hard?
Hard's not even the word to describe it. It's impossible for me because you're exactly right. I've never been as nervous as I was. It was during COVID, so the theater was completely empty. And there was almost like judges.
Oh, that's even worse.
And a whale biologist went after me, and I think a rocket scientist went before me.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, and my mom's a cosmetologist, so she gets her 17,000 words in before lunch,
right.
And so, as y'all are seeing now, I can talk to people, and I do the first version of the TED Talk. And they give you a coach to kind of get your speech right. And he goes, okay, that's 24 minutes. You got to do it in 15.
Wow.
And I learned so much about that, about trimming the fluff. And my creative director, Zach, he's helped me a lot. Like just kind of saying, hey, you don't have to say that. Like, trim that back or whatever.
Yeah.
You're saying that twice, or you're being redundant. So I learned a ton because we have started, because of the stroke and coming out of that, I have the desire now to share with people about that and that redemptive quality of what going through hard shit does, and the music that came from that. So we're doing these speeches. We're speaking now, and that's become a kind of a side hustle for me, and it's super fulfilling, man. It's super fulfilling to go out there and say, it was hard. Learning how to walk again at 35 is hard. Your perception shifts. The music industry is no longer hard.
Wow, that's beautiful. And so, would you say that in a way, Drake, because you're such a positive human, that you, in a way, knowing that you're going to help people, that you're low key thankful for that? Like, you're like, I experienced this.
I'm not even low key thankful. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
That's amazing.
And I'll comment on the positive thing. Like, I have negative thoughts constantly, and I battle. I have very few bad days. I have bad moments all the time, but I have the tools now to get me out of those bad thoughts. Like, I struggled with comparison for a little while. Like, I've never been a jealous person, but like, I'm being super vulnerable right now and saying, like, I am so driven. I want to pack out Madison Square Garden. Like, I'll always want a little more than I'll ever have. Yeah. And that's the drive in me. And it's embracing that and understanding that it's okay if you have a bad thought, but you can't have a bad week, bad month. Yeah. You can have a bad day. Everybody is everybody can have a bad day, but if you're having a bad week, bad month, like, find some help. Find somebody to talk to, create a song, Go cut some grass, lay some block.
Yeah, keep moving, right?
Go catch a fish, do something.
Yeah.
And I'm not excusing people with, the traumatic brain injury that I had. Like, I have so much respect for mental illnesses, and we did the benefit for the brain, and seeing PTSD patients and all this stuff. Like, ask for help, work your way out of it. Let's talk. Call me. I'll talk to you.
You're wonderful.
Oh,
man.
yeah. So, going back to your stroke in 2019, how important was it for your support system to be there to help you? Because like you said, you had to relearn to walk and all that. Not to mention perform, which is remarkable itself.
It was proximity is power. Have you ever heard that? Like the people that you surround yourself in, it's a sum of all parts. My wife literally taught me how to walk again. My fans, my mom, my dad, they're really strong Christian, God-fearing people that prayed and taught me the power of prayer a long time ago, and the power of being quiet and understanding that you are where you're at for a reason, and you can either flip it and help people with the struggle, or you can become a victim. And my dad was really good at saying, we're, your last name, we're not victims.
That's right.
I declare, and that we're not victims. We're going to go after it.
Man,
and
I
so
love that.
it was the most important thing probably was having, and my band, my guys, my people, but Nashville keeps going, man. Like, and you can't get jaded and mad at Nashville for being like, they were like, I remember buddies coming and seeing me in the hospital, and I would get so mad that I threw a iPhone through a wall, like through a sheetrock wall, when one of the buddies just was coming to see how I was doing, because he said this. He said, I said, well, I can't wait to get back to the stage. And I'm in the hospital, can't walk. And he's like, oh, no, Drake, that'll be there. Don't worry about that.
No.
You just focus on your health. And I was like, I was so mad because he was passing me. He was, and that's the creative. That's the
cowboy up. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's the competitive, the competitor.
I'm sorry, I'm on a horse again, man.
Yeah, and it was really hard. So those battling through those thoughts is kind of what I answered in the earlier question. So
no. So is this what that situation, has it helped hone like what you want to write about?
I think so. I mean, has it helped hone what I want to write about? You just live through something. I don't necessarily think about, like, I'm not in a bubble like making music every day. I go live life and then write songs about the life.
That's awesome.
You don't cut it off, like whether it be go call a turkey up and kill it and eat it, or go to the beach and see seagulls and dolphins, and just go live life and then write songs. If you're writers write, readers read, singers sing.
Yeah, then as we were discussing before we hopped on, you said when you're writing an album, you don't listen to the radio because you don't want people to influence.
Yeah, I don't. I have my set of influences, and what I want, what I like, and what I want my music to sound like. I don't want, and this is not for everybody. This is just the way I think, and I think about it is I don't want to have that Instagram thing of like, oh, I want my music to sound like that, or because I will write that, or I will, like, I don't know. I've got my influences. Yeah. And I listen to music. It's just when I'm in the middle of, we just got through recording a record, I want my influences to be my influences. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but makes sense to some. And I've just learned that it's just my thought.
Now, will we get to hear any of that music, or is that on hold until the release?
No, we'll play a couple tonight. We're kind of easing them out, and it's close. May the 5th. May the 5th. We'll be here before we know it.
Be here in a minute.
2 weeks or so.
Yeah, we're gonna roll the first one out. So
that's the closing of this tour, right? That weekend.
Is it? Yeah, it's kind of.
Okay.
Kinda
So,
close.
speaking of tour, how far along is your like touring brain at? Like, are you already planning the next tour?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
taking some time off.
Yeah, always. We just got a tour with Jamie Johnson, a list of dates, and I've got a 1-year-old now, but
Congrats.
thank you. I like being on the road. I like being at home with them. I like being on the road. I like working. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've got mine yet. You know what I mean? Whatever that means. I don't think I've really, so we want to get out here and hammer this where I can get my own bus and get my family out here, and do bigger places where I can improve my platform and help people even at a higher level. That's my true desire, and I've had dreams of that. And if there's anything that I've learned is I'm a very powerful dreamer, to steal Chappelle line. Like, I'm a very powerful dreamer. Like, I know that those dreams are realities. I just got to step into them.
Yeah, we love that, man. And thank you for your music, Drake, and for your story and for your vulnerability and for sitting down with us at the Hometown Jams podcast here in Sip Coffee House. We heard a baby screaming. We heard barista working.
Yeah.
But, you're right here, and we just really, really, really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, man. It's a really cool little town, and y'all should be proud of it.
Thank you. Well, we'll let you go get ready for meet and greets
All right,
shortly.
man.
All right, man.
Cheers.
Awesome time.